من
نشهد أن لا إله إلا نستغفرك ونتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, normally we have a question answer session at this time and also feedback session, but as you have been engaged all night and also day of Jummah, we will just take one or two question or anything anyone wants to mention. Inshallah.
Anybody would like to ask a question, please raise your hand. I'll bring the mic over to you. Question or feedback?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Can one feel hopeless if someone hasn't done a sin? Because sometimes when you do sins, Shaitan gets to you. He puts weird thoughts in your mind. He tries to brainwash you. But if you didn't do a sin, can that still happen? Or at least if you don't think you've done a sin.
See, the hope from the mercy of Allah has nothing to do with the sin or good deed. It is beyond that. You just hoping, meaning in the mercy and grace of Allah. That has nothing to do with sin or actually good deed, because they are separate. They are amal, and Allah's mercy is beyond and independent of that. But yes, the amal, good deed, both ways, be it sins or good deeds, you need the mercy of Allah. For a bad deed, you need mercy for forgiveness. For good deed, you need mercy for acceptance. So in both ways, you cannot be independent of the mercy of Allah. As Rasulullah ﷺ said in the Sahih Hadith in Muslim, none of you will enter paradise with your amal, with your deeds. And Sahaba Ikram asked the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah ﷺ, what about you? He said, even I cannot unless the Allah's mercy envelopes me from all sides. So you need that always actually, because this is due to everything benefits. And as someone said that the pious and the sinner, the saint and the sinner, they are knocking the same door. They are both at the door, the sinner and the saint. So what door? The sinner is saying, Ya Allah, I want my tawbah to be accepted. Please forgive me. The saint is saying, Ya Allah, my good deeds needs acceptance. Please accept good deeds. So they are both deprived if they do not have the mercy and rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ye cheez.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I have a question regarding the disconnect between what the mind thinks and what the heart feels. So there can be times when you have an emotion that you know you shouldn't be feeling, but you feel it. Or for example, you know you should be feeling something, but you can't make yourself feel it. And I was wondering if you had any advice on how to control the connection between the two.
You see, the mind actually, and the nafs, they have feelings, and they are temporarily. For example, a temporal, you may say, feel good or bad or something like this. Whilst the heart is where, when things settle down, actually completely, it becomes like your trait. So let's say, if you are going along the street and you see a person who doesn't have clothes and he doesn't have food. So now you become generous. That generosity is really not generosity, but it's a temporal state of the nafs and the mind, that you've seen the person in this state and this happens. The permanent generosity is in the heart, no matter you see or not anyone, it's there. So we can say that actually that in the nafs and the mind, their states are temporal, and in the heart, that's when the moral trait actually settles in permanently, and it becomes more of your habit, and it's you may say, established. So that's why we say the nafs can have, for example, the mind, there might be a thought of jealousy might just pass. You see something, you see someone's blessings, but that's just a passing thought of jealousy. It's not jealousy, it's just a waswasa thought. The jealousy actually is in the heart. When it settles in the heart, no matter you are seeing or not, but regarding a person or a thing who you are jealous, even you are sleeping, it will be in you. So that's why one should be careful with the temporal things as well. If a person engages more again and again, then they settle in the heart. So the connection, the issue is that when something settles in the heart, from there it can emanate to the mind, it can emanate to the nafs as well. But that is the way it came in as well, through nafs and mind initially as well. So they work both ways actually. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ said that there is a piece of flesh in the body that if it becomes corrected and sound, then all body works sound, because that's where it's getting from. But how did it got corrupted? How did it corrupt? Through the body. The body did something. For example, my eyes gazed wrongly, my tongue spoke wrongly. That's how the darkness settled in. But once it settled in, then again it affects the body again. So ye hai.
Jazakallah. I would like to request to close this session now.
Okay, Jazakallah. Shukran. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika.